Never. I don't ever give up. I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated. For my part, I will never give up, and I mean never. I think people can choose to be not ordinary. You know, they can choose to not necessarily conform to the conventions that were taught to them by their parents. So, yes, I think it's possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. If you're trying to create a company, it's like baking a cake. You have to have all the ingredients in the right proportion. Patience is a virtue, and I'm learning patience. It's a tough lesson. I would like to die on Mars. Just not on impact. Great companies are built on great products. I think it matters whether someone has a good heart. Any product that needs a manual to work is broken. When I was in college, I wanted to be involved in things that would change the world. I will never be happy without having someone. Going to sleep alone kills me. I'm a Silicon Valley guy. I just think people from Silicon Valley can do anything. I do think there should be some regulations on AI. When Henry Ford made cheap, reliable cars, people said, "Nah, what's wrong with a horse?" That was a huge bet he made, and it worked. I tend to approach things from a physics framework. And physics teaches you to reason from first principles rather than by analogy. My opinion is it's a bridge too far to go to fully autonomous cars. We are the first species capable of self-annihilation. Land on Mars, a round-trip ticket, $500,000. It can be done. What I'm trying to do is to make a significant difference in space flight. And help make space flight accessible to almost anyone. I'm trying to construct a world that maximizes the probability that SpaceX continues its mission without me. If we're going to have any chance of sending stuff to other star systems, we need to be laser-focused on becoming a multi-planet civilization. America is the spirit of human exploration distilled. The rumors of the demise of the U.S. manufacturing industry are greatly exaggerated. Here in the West, people often don't like listening to their leaders, even if they are right. The reason we should do a carbon tax is because it's the right thing to do. It's economics 101, elementary stuff. I've actually made a prediction that within 30 years a majority of new cars made in the United States will be electric. And I don't mean hybrid, I mean fully electric. My vision is for a fully reusable rocket transport system between Earth and Mars that is able to refuel on Mars. This is very important, so you don't have to carry the return fuel when you go there. I wish we could be private with Tesla. It actually makes us less efficient to be a public company. On one of the SpaceX flights, we had a secret payload, a wheel of cheese. We flew to orbit and brought it back, so it was the world's first space cheese. It was, in part, a tribute to Monty Python. In the case of Apple, they did originally do production internally, but then along came unbelievably good outsourced manufacturing from companies like Foxconn. We don't have that in the rocket business. There's no Foxconn in the rocket business. You need to be in the position where it is the cost of the fuel that actually matters, and not the cost of building the rocket in the first place. I feel very strongly that SpaceX would not have been able to get started, nor would we have made the progress that we have, without the help of NASA. I'm glad to see that BMW is bringing an electric car to market. That's cool. The pace of progress on Mars depends upon the pace of progress of SpaceX. I love the thought of a car drifting apparently endlessly through space and perhaps being discovered by an alien race millions of years in the future. The key test for an acronym is to ask whether it helps or hurts communication. There are some important differences between me and Tony Stark, like I have 5 kids, so I spend more time going to Disneyland than parties. Every 5,000th buyer of our boringly boring hat will get a free hat signed by the delivery guy. I'm nauseatingly pro-American. I would have come here from any country. The US is where great things are possible. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. When I was in college, I wanted to be involved in things that would change the world. If humanity doesn't land on Mars in my lifetime, I would be very disappointed. For my part, I will never give up, and I mean never.